Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to a very warm Toffee TV studio. Well,
to be fair, it's quite cool in here.
it's all right because the fan has been on. I just went out
It's roasting.
to let someone out. It's roasting. It's far too hot to get angry in this kind of weather.
Yeah.
Warm. Me and James are here. It is Thursday the 19th of June. There's 11 days left of June. Well done. You can add up. But in 12 days, Everton might sign someone.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
You'd like to think so, but we're asking, and it's literally, there's not really much to start a show with in terms of news right now, so we're just asking, quite simply, and James will put a poll up in a minute. Do you think Everton will sign anyone before July the 1st?
I'll put this poll up now.
That poll is going up right now. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think Everton will?
No, because I feel like it would have already been done by now if they were going to sign someone, because, you know, it's no secret that Everton are going to sign a lot of players this summer. And there's links that have came out, but none of them seem definite. Like, the only real one where you, like, I don't know, you could put a percentage on, I'd say, is Tiemoué Barry, but the rest is all, like, just, I don't know.
Not Kyle Walker?
Is it even definite? Because didn't the Echo say, like, it's not really... like the top of the priority, and it'd be later on if we were going to sign him.
Yeah, I've no idea. And hopefully, and David Moyes generally does try to keep everything close to his chest, so we like that. I like that, and because by the time it gets out, you'd like to think it was done or about to be done. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea. But I would probably go with no. I don't expect Everton. I don't think it'd be great if at 5 o'clock Everton announced someone. We didn't have a clue. That'd be brilliant. But I think if I had to put sort of a little bet on to see whether I think Everton had signed someone before the 1st of July, I'd probably go with no.
Yeah, I agree.
But I hope we're wrong, because that'd be great if we
Do you think Everton will agree a deal with someone before?
See, that was the grey area. That was the grey area. And I thought about that before. I thought about maybe putting a third choice in your poll, going, maybe agree a deal to be done on the 1st. Because the reality is, anything they sort of do now probably will be under that premise that they sign on July the 5th. I've already seen some teams, mentioned Leeds the other day, have signed Nemetja, saying he joins on July the 1st. Apparently
there's 2 Nemetjas as well, and they signed the worst brother.
Have they?
Yeah, like the more famous one who played for Dortmund isn't the one they signed.
Well, whoever, but...
Yeah, no, I know, but...
What we're saying is, that kind of deal where they say, yeah, he's joining on the 1st of July.
Yeah.
Do we count that as Everton signing someone? We can't, or do we? Would you? I don't know. Say Everton said...
Yeah, as Leeds announced it.
Do you think has he had the shirt? I think he might have even had hold of the shirt.
I think, if Everton say, like...
He's going to join on
He's going to join and there's a photo.
We having that?
Yeah.
Are you having that one? That's what we're saying. All right. We'll see what people in the comments are saying.
Yeah, I'd have that as them signing.
We're accepting that.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically if it's confirmed, then they've signed.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's like there's absolutely nothing that could happen where it's going to get in the way, then I'm having it.
All
no
right.
Dan Jumas.
Okay. The poll is hiding someone who's congratulating us on our partnership with Liverpool John Lennon Airport. Thank you very much. I can't see your name because the poll's in the way. But thank you.
Eltel.
Thank you, Eltel. Brian Ball says late today. Well, I told you yesterday you've been doing an interview, so I did say it wasn't starting until 2 p.m. today, and that was out yesterday. Nathan, who's a YouTube member and also a Premier member, says congratulations on the airport deal, but also says Tiemoué Barry seems like a pretty solid link. Do you think it is a solid link? Because it's been mentioned quite a lot. It's come from Spanish press, it's come from French press as well. And obviously it's come from England.
Yeah, well, he's definitely he's the right profile that everyone's going to be going for, isn't he? He's someone who's young, has similarities to Beto in a sense where, like, you play him behind, he's quick, but obviously he's quicker, he's can dribble, good in the air. So he's the perfect sort of target, I feel like. So it makes sense in that way, but it's a weird one, isn't it? Because we put stuff out on like Twitter and Instagram, and people reply to us like it's us making the transfer, that just get it done and stuff like that. But there's been so many transfers recently with Everton and links and stuff where it looks like it's near enough done, or you even get like a here we go off for Fabrizio Romano, and then all of a sudden nothing happens and it doesn't happen. And whether that's Everton's fault or not, you don't really know. But I feel it's a name that sort of came out of nowhere, hasn't it? It's not like a huge name within football where like beforehand we'd all be saying, yeah, go for Tiemoué Barry. So at least then you think Everton have sort of done the due diligence and looking for him.
He basically just listened to me and Steve P talking about him from January through to May and gone, oh yeah, we'll have a look at him. Yeah. So tongue-in-cheek comment, people.
You'd expect it to be true, especially with more Spanish press reporting it, and Villarreal do have to sell loads of players, and you know that Bain is meant to be going, half the team's meant to be going, so but them wanting to sell players, Everton sort of looking for that profile. And ultimately, for what he is, would you say that's a fair price for his sort of profile? 30-odd million for a young striker who's scored double figures multiple times.
Rate.
Yeah.
It's the going rate. That's the way it is.
So, and with it all being Spain, you would expect it to be true, wouldn't you? It's weird because you'll get one article that says it's definitely happening, he's agreed all terms, and then the next one will be Everton are just considering him at the minute and they're looking at other top, and it's like you'd have no certainty at all. So, who knows?
There was even one yesterday that said Leeds had inquired about him, but they've been told he's already got an agreement in place with Everton, so they've moved on to someone else.
Sky's one yesterday just said Everton, he's on Everton's list, but they'd also got other options, and Calvert-Lewin still might not be staying, or might be going, sorry. So it's like, who knows? There's too much stuff.
Yeah, we don't know, do we? Hackon on the super chat says, his Ped is the cool one. Don't know where that's come from. And Baz is the hot one, according to the overlap. Again, don't know where that's come from. Of course, it's warm in the studio. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, Carl says apparently Leeds asked Villarreal about Barry and they said he has a deal set with Everton. Yeah.
Why would that come out though?
Don't know.
Yeah, that's what. It's just weird, isn't it? Do you hope Everton make a move with, speaking of Leeds, with Habib Diarra soon? Or, well, at least something comes out that Everton have made a move for him.
Leeds are in for him, aren't they? And apparently have bid for him.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
No, just because I know he's someone that you've said for quite a while that you would hope Everton would sign.
Oh, I'd love us to get him because I think he's got potential. I think he's one of them that you can build on.
Yeah.
You can probably sell on, get money again if he does well. But I don't know. I don't know whether Leeds will just pay the money and he'll go there. I'm not sure. Mr. Blue Sky said we should get Tom Fellows from West Brom. He'd be a good signing. Well, Everton have looked at him. Moyes, I think David Moyes likes him to go crosser of the ball, but I don't know whether they'll go in for him. Carlinho 888 says, be grateful, lads, your heat wave is short-lived. I'm here in Manila. It's 24/7, 30 degrees plus.
It's rough.
It's hot.
Would you love that?
That is hot, yeah. Garrett says, good afternoon, gents. Hope you're well. Congratulations on your sponsorship with Liverpool John Lennon Airport. Toffee TV will hopefully now really take off.
Nice.
I like it. See what you did there. Casey says, Tiemoué Barry has been spotted buying some sunglasses from Johnny Goggles in Bootle ahead of the blistering heatwave. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Ashley Dawning, hello. We've been linked with, first of all, thank you to Oliver Juntai on the super chat. Thank you very much. You haven't said anything, but thank you very much, mate. We've been linked with Yuri Alberto today. We've been linked with him on quite a few occasions.
Yeah.
He does score a lot of goals, but it's Brazil.
Yeah.
He's 24, I think, now. I feel
so,
like
yeah.
he's 24.
I just don't believe he exists.
Nah, a few clubs.
I just feel like every time any club needs a striker, it's always Yuri Alberto.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
been into Everton about 10 times.
He has been. But
It's like no one ever makes the move for them,
No.
but apparently he does well. But
it's the pace. He's not quick, is he? That's why. I reckon he's about 24.
He is 24, yeah.
He's 24. There you go. Kent says, Baz, if we're due to bring in so many players before the start of the season, do you think there'd be any scope in the budget to strengthen again in January? I've no idea, to be honest, Ken. I've no idea. It just depends what sort of how much they spend this summer window. You don't really want to be bringing players in January.
Yeah, I know.
Really, that's...
You hope that we've done enough in the summer one that we don't need
the
to.
January window's dying, really. That only should be utilised if you think there's a player who you can get who you think, wow, he really improves us. Everton could sort of gamble with that. If there was a player that they thought, if we get him, that's going to do X, Y, or Z. And then they got till June the 30th to sell someone to cover it. But what Villa did really well in January was use the loan market well.
Yeah.
They obviously got Marcus Rashford in and they got Asensio in, didn't he? From,
that's Sam Marlon permanently, didn't he?
Simon
Marlon permanently.
and Daniel Marlon, they had the money there. So they got the three they brought in, two of them alone. So that's more likely what you do. You use it for an international loan space in the January. So we'll see.
Would you, if Marcus Rashford was an option on loan, would you take him? Because you'd have to put a lot of money forward for him, wouldn't you? But
I just think he's too. It's the money's too dear for him. And he'd improve Everton, but his wages are just destroyers. Yeah. So no, that's the answer. But he's a very, very good footballer when he's on it. When he's up for it.
Yeah.
Done well. He's in spells of Villa. He's done all right.
Yeah.
He's been amazing.
He got injured though, didn't he?
He's done all right, and he just got to go. Oliver, again a super chat, but this time he has said, when are we going to bring in our own players? Probably after the 1st of July, Oliver, to be honest.
So what, going back to the chat we had like a week ago or something, you said you think Everton will come back and it'd be like the 3rd or the 5th or something like that, wasn't it?
I think they're back on the date today, so the 19th or the 26th. They might be back 2 weeks today or 2 weeks tomorrow for testing.
Okay. And then the week after they start properly.
But the week after, well, it'd be like the Monday, wouldn't it? So it'd be like the 7th of July, maybe. Don't forget, they played the first game on the 15th.
Yeah.
And they're looking at a training camp, so they might be in a couple of days. There might be a couple of days when they're back a bit earlier if Moyes wants to go. If they're just going straight away to a training camp.
So, say we start that training camp, or whatever it would be, and Everton haven't signed anyone yet, but there's like a few maybe they're going to sign. Would you say that that's like sort of the Friedkin's first failure? In a way, that like we're starting training, we haven't got them new faces in, even though we're in desperate need of like addition.
Yeah, but for all we know, right? For all we know, on July the 1st, Everton might go announce 3 players.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. Say if they didn't announce them 3 players, though, would that be ready, worrying?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, James, because I don't know what the targets are and the complexities of any deals they're doing. To be honest.
Just hope it gets solved quicker than the one in January.
No, well, that's it. The reality is we should have players ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, the fact it's not out there is good. Because, if it's not out there because Everton have kept it really tight, then that's brilliant. if it's not out there because Everton haven't done any, all right, because other people haven't really done a lot either. No, Liverpool have done it, but Liverpool have just won the league.
Yeah. And
have got a big pot of money, and therefore they didn't buy anyone last summer, really, did they? Chiesa, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Mohamed Ashley, but that was there. But who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, just what can you do? Chris, they're available to negotiate with, but they're not. You don't sign them in June. You don't sign a free transfer in June. Anyone we get now will be joins on July the 1st. So, because the clubs, they've all got contracts till June the 30th with the clubs. So, Dominic Calvert-Lewin will be paid by Everton till June 30th, which is why Newcastle, you know what I mean? And Kyle Walker-Peters will be paid by Southampton till June the 30th, and everyone's contract ends on June the 30th. So, what we could do, and this is, is turn around and go, yeah, Everton, maybe it's Kyle Walker-Peters. Everton have agreed to deal with Kyle Walker-Peters. He'll join Everton on July the 1st. Yeah. That'd be the first day of his contract with Everton.
Yeah. And
his contract will run till June the 30th, whatever year they give him. Yeah. 2-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever. So that's why. So it's just it's one of them, isn't it? I'd love us to be down the line with quite a few players, and us would be able to talk about them and that. But we've just got to go. Okay, it is where it is right now. It is where it is. It is crazy. It is crazy.
It would be great, wouldn't it? You know, the way in January where there was no one really linked properly, and it was like, we're going to sign the Chelsea, and then the Alcaraz one came out of nowhere. And then I know that ended up taking ages anyway, but I don't really know if that was Everton's fault or whatever, but it'd be great if it's on January, then all of a sudden you just see these random players just come in. It just feels like they've pulled them out of nowhere. That's ideal. But who knows, really?
James, yeah, we can't sign them now, but we can have the agreements in place. I mean, that's what a lot of the... Again, I haven't got a clue. Kyle Walker and all, I have no clue what had happened with him, but the story does keep bouncing around from certain people that he's agreed a 1-year deal with Everton, and that 1-year deal will become live, if you like, in July, on the 1st of July. Now, I don't know if that's real or it isn't real. I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. But certainly Kyle Walker wouldn't be announced today or tomorrow that he's an Everton player right now. Unless Man City said you can have him for 250 grand and Everton had 250 grand, and he'd take, because he has still got a year left on his contract. But even Kyle Walker's contracted to Milan till the 30th of June. Yeah. Because he signed a loan deal, which goes to there. So that's sort of why it is. So you've just got to go. We just got to all sit tight. We're just hypothesising. Will Everton sign anyone? Well, I believe if Everton were to sign someone that it before the 30th of June, we'd probably be buying them. Yeah. And therefore, if Everton buy someone, then fine. It'd be great if Everton. But you see, I'm thinking Everton could buy Tiemoué Barry before the 30th of June because he's got a escape clause in his, I keep saying this, a release clause in his contract. And if Everton agreed to sign him,
agreed to deal with
that and agreed it with him.
Yeah.
Villarreal, that deal they might not be bothered when that deal goes through, so to speak. But the down payment for him might be, say, £5 million. What is it? It's more likely to have an offer him a 5-year deal. It's more likely to be £6 million a season for him, plus his wages. Villarreal might be like, give us 8 million now, you know, the deal's done, kind of thing, as a down payment. And there you go. yeah, let's do it. And Everton do it because Everton have got 10 million in the budget, but they get it done.
Yeah.
But then you ask yourself a thing and go, well, just wait. You just wait a few more weeks because then let them pay him till July. And then we'll take over. Do you know what I mean? So it is like that. Chris says, why have other Prem clubs have made signings because they've bought them, haven't they? They bought the players.
Apart from City.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool have bought Waite and Frimpong.
Is Waite even like official yet as well?
No.
So we don't. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be announced tomorrow.
Kerkez is meant to be soon.
And Kerkez will be the next shoot. So Liverpool have got whatever. They've won the league, so they get it, whatever it is, 100 million for winning the league or something. So any money they have to pay for Florian Wirtz and all of that is done. But that deal might be, for all I know, Liverpool have agreed to deal with Leverkusen. Florian Wirtz joins on July the 1st. And then Leverkusen get a chunk of money on July the 1st from Liverpool, and Wirtz is a Liverpool player.
Yeah. It's, as well, because they didn't spend loads and they sold they've already sold like Kelleher and stuff, haven't they? That for their books for this year, they've probably got loads of room to spend, and then if they do want to sign other players, they can do it in the next financial year. So it works for them, doesn't it?
That's it. We're playing in a different thing, aren't we? We're playing in a different financial landscape than Liverpool. We just are. And Man City, no matter whether people like it or they don't like it, we're playing in that league.
Yeah.
We're in a different financial scope.
And apart from, like a City, Chelsea and Liverpool, I don't think anyone else has signed anyone, has they? Brentford, but that was because their keeper went, didn't it? So it's not really like anyone around us has been signing loads of players. It's only really that like the so-called big six who have made actual signings I can think of.
City bought players for the
Club World Cup.
The Club World Cup. They were given the window to buy them. And Liverpool obviously
same with Chelsea.
Want to do their deal, which is good business by Liverpool. Absolutely it is. If you've got the money and you can do it, get in and buy it. But who else has bought players in the league? Chelsea buy players all the time. So
that's what I mean.
Chelsea forget about Chelsea.
They're in the Club World Cup
because Chelsea and they're in the Club World Cup. But forget about Chelsea.
Brentford's the only one I can think of.
So who've Brentford bought?
They brought
Kelleher and
that's it, isn't it?
Right. So
the Mitch agreed to go to Leeds on July 1st. That's it.
Yeah. So Tottenham haven't signed anyone, I don't think, yeah?
No.
Have they?
No. Man United have signed, well, we said Man United, haven't we? They signed Cunha. United
have signed Cunha, but there again, they play in a different thing than us.
Arsenal not signed anyone.
No. So it's not like everybody has signed players and we haven't signed anyone. Know what I mean? But you've got to sort of, and I know a lot will do this, but you've got to sort of step back and go, right, we're going to go up to June the 30th. That's the end of the financial year. On July the 1st, 2022 drops off our books because it's still being used as a 3-year rolling thing because the Premier League have flapped it because they were getting rid of PSR. It was supposed to finish and hasn't finished. But squad ratio's also getting used, so it's a mismatch. But right now, it's there.
So the signings, Truffert signed for Bournemouth.
Yeah, but that's based on the fact of selling Kerkez to Liverpool. But yeah,
Brighton have signed Coppola and a striker called Kostoulas, and Spurs have completed the permanent deal for Tell, which is in a clause.
Basically an obligation, wasn't it?
So they're the only other ones. And then the Mets has agreed to join.
Yeah, and that's it. There's no one's really done anything. So you've got to go. We've signed Alcaraz.
Yeah, true.
So we've signed as many as Spurs have signed and Brentford have signed. So it's difficult, isn't it?
I think if you're a Bournemouth fan right now, you're really worried about next season.
Bournemouth, absolutely.
They've lost 3 of the back 4 now, haven't they?
Yeah, 3 of the back 4 have gone.
Kepa's gone as well.
Kerkez has gone.
Kepa, was he at them?
Kepa's gone, the goalie.
Kirkes
is gone.
Biani or whatever, he's going to PSG, isn't he?
Semenyo will go.
Yeah.
And do you reckon Evan Nielsen's going?
That's scary for them.
They're going to lose 5. They've also lost their director of football, who now is at Liverpool.
It's Clive.
Who brought all the players in. So, Bournemouth.
Clive wants to join Bayer Leverkusen. It's the top result.
Well, he does, yeah, he wants to go.
So, and they've got the Wirtz money, so they could just lose everyone.
So you just have to go, right? Just chill. Just chill out a little bit. David, I know, but that's the same with Tell. Doesn't go on their books officially till July the 1st, Tottenham's. Because most clubs just go, June 30th is this season, 24-25 season. July 1st is 25-26 season. So that's basically what happens. So yeah, but we have got to just. I think what happens is once they bin PSR, it's year by year.
Yeah.
Because it's a squad ratio, what you spend. So in real time, you sort of know how much you can spend, and what you don't go. Yeah, but remember Remember last year. We owed 30 million because everyone be going, we haven't spent anything this year. How come we not have any money? And going, we haven't got much money because we lost 80 million. That's it. None of that anymore.
Yeah.
Once they get to that, it's year by year. So if Everton sell £50 million worth of players, they can spend £50 million on play. You know, I'm just using that basically. But still, the way the accounting is done is if I sell you Jarrad Branthwaite, right? My books say 70. Say I sold you Jarrad Branthwaite for £75 million. £75 million comes on my books now as the selling club. So in my books, I put in the £75 million. For you, you might have gone, we'll pay you £15 million a season for 5 years. Is that even right? Every year for Jarrad Branthwaite.
So
on your books,
though. So is it? So say I'm buying you for £50 million, and you're Everton. Are you receiving that full £50 million, and they sort of do it as a loan?
No, because it doesn't.
And they'll pay off like the loan instead of that.
Because it doesn't matter what.
So how come you're allowed to say I've received 75 million, so they're saying I'm receiving 8 million every year?
That's how they do it.
Oh.
So that's how the accounting works, which is bizarre in football because money's not real.
Because it makes sense if it was like a loan way of doing it. So you actually do receive £50 million, and then you can put that on your books. But
some clubs,
you receive 5 every year, but you get to put a 75.
But that's cash, isn't it?
Yeah, seems dodgy.
So there's a difference between cash and your books, right? So for me, I get a big uplift because we receive £75 million from James for Jarrad Branthwaite.
But you didn't actually, yeah.
But you go, I've paid £15 million for Jarrad Branthwaite this summer. Yeah. I have to pay £15 million next summer for Jarrad Branthwaite, and I have to pay £15 million the summer after, and I have to pay. But right now, you've paid £15 million for a £75 million asset.
Yeah.
But for me, I go, in our books, 75 million plus. Doesn't matter that I've got 15 million, that's cash.
Yeah.
Everton's issue at times has been cash. So Everton agreed a deal with Gnonto. Agreed a deal with Leeds. And agreed the down payments, but then Leeds moved the goalposts. So Leeds went, remember when we asked for 5 million for the down payment? Because they wanted to buy. We actually want 10. And the deal's still the same. It's still 25 million. But we want £10 million down payment simply because they probably needed it to buy.
They want the cash to buy their next player.
They need the cash. And Everton didn't have £10 million in cash. So even though Everton could say, well, we can still pay you 20, you're still getting 25 million from us. Leeds are like, it's not good, mate, because we need 10 million.
Yeah, so
because we're buying X over there, and his down payment's 10 million. So we're going to get rid of Gnonto to you, and we want X over there, but we need 10 million. So unless you give us the 10 million, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
and Everton were basically hands tied, couldn't do it. And that's how clubs work.
Yeah.
Everton could spend, theoretically, 140 million this summer
But on our books could be about 25.
But on our books, 40, probably, to spend that much, you probably have to spend £45 million cash, say.
Yeah.
But depending on what deal you do. So say Everton spent 100 million this summer. Everton's cash for that would probably only need to be about 30 million pound, depending on how you crafted deals.
Yeah.
So you look and go, Everton have brought 100, Everton have spent 100 million already this summer.
But so Everton didn't have a cash problem. How, without selling players, how do you get more cash in your business?
From commercial deals.
Ah, okay.
And people coming in.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have to.
Could an owner just could he just say I'm putting 100
Owner
million?
can put in anyway. You can't put that much money in, this is what a lot of clubs are fuming at. So the owner can give you a loan of, sure, as John said, it's something like the owner can put in the business, say 15 million a season, I think.
Yeah.
Might be wrong. That number might be wrong, might be 30 million, whatever. Could put that into the business each year. Everton were using that. And we're still losing money because they were building a stadium.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the real drag, even though it wasn't the only reason, the real drag on the business was a big £750 million stadium you've got there.
Yeah.
Because even though Managerial was putting money in, we were still having cost. And
they're not going to take the cash over whatever amount they want to.
So cost was coming out the business for steals and all of this, and we weren't able to generate extra money.
Yeah.
And this is what they're saying. It's Brighton spent 240 million last summer. Didn't spend 240 million pound cash. No chance. They probably spent about 40 million cash or something because it was just down payments. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
going back to when we were on then, do you think Everton dodged the bullet with not getting Gnonto for 25 million?
I don't think he dodged the bullet. I'm not saying he's amazing because.
But for the pressures it would have put on the club financially, in a way, and last season, 43 games, 9 goals, 6 assists.
He had 15 goal involvements and he's what, 21? 22?
He is 21.
Yeah.
22 in November.
So 15 goal involvements. Now, would he have 15 goal involvements in the Prem? Probably not. But it's about him getting better. So I wouldn't say we dodged the bullet, like thank God we didn't get him, because I do think he's got something. He's direct, he's quick.
Yeah.
But there's probably better value. That's what I would say. There's probably better value than him. So it'll be interesting to see where the Rangers go for him.
Yeah.
Chris Bruce says the accounting year that drops off our PSR 3-year calculation from July the 1st is 62 million loss. So, and we are all right this year. So, like Chris said, in theory, Everton could lose another 60 million and still be all right in the next accounting period. The real problem with it, so
the next accounting period, that's over 3 years.
You see, this is the problem. Right?
This is just dead confused. Yeah.
No, this is the problem, right? We have a situation where the league doesn't know whether it's going to carry on with PSR or go to squad ratio. UEFA uses squad ratio. And all that happens really is you get a fine if you go over it. If you obliterate it, you would get banned from European competition or you'd lose players from your squad and all that. But there you go. So that's the way to do it.
So right now you don't really know. Clubs don't know what they're doing because they don't know whether it's going to switch.
We'll let the juggle them both, aren't they? Which is a thing. Alex, John, not missing John, and I'm talking finances simply because people still don't seem to be grasping that July the 1st things get better. That's all. I hate talking about. I just want us to buy players.
Yeah.
That's all I'm interested in. Buy players and get better. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting time anyway. It's going to be an interesting time. So yeah, Branthwaite. What do you think about Branthwaite? Do you think he'll sign a new deal? Everton are readying a new deal for him.
Well, yeah, because the clubs that are interested in him, I just don't see how they would be attracted to him. But I don't know if that's me just having me Everton tinted glass on, like the same way with the lap and stuff. But Tottenham,
Spurs.
yeah, it's like they've got Champions League and sort of whether they can sell him on the project that they've got with Thomas Frank, but they finished 17th still. So there's still like a lot to go for
They'll
them.
be better, but it's still Tottenham.
And they've still got Romero and Van der Ven, who are two good centre-halves. I know obviously they need more, and that's what they sort of faced with last season, but them, and then Chelsea, they've got about 8 centre-backs who are all good. But it's like, would they really need to spend it? It's Chelsea, so yeah, they probably would, but would they need to spend 80 million on a new centre-half? Man United, I just don't get why anyone wants to sign for Man United, and that's your mental or a Man United fan. City, they're not going to sign him because they've got Ruben Diaz, they've got Gvardiol, they've got...
City probably should sign him, really.
But they've got...
Oh, they've got
signed
good players.
Gnonto, haven't they, where it opens up Gvardiol to play in like his actual position now more. And who else is there? Liverpool. I don't think Everton would sell him to Liverpool no matter what. And then after that, Arsenal don't need him. They've got Saliba and Gabriel. After that, is Newcastle a big step up? No, he wouldn't go to Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle paid either. And all the other clubs then, I just don't see going for them.
They will be a step up at the moment because they're a better team than us.
I know, it's not as
and they're doing
huge,
well, but
yeah.
I don't think they pay it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they pay it. So,
but it's not, yeah. So I think
if I'm City, I'd buy him. I really would.
Yeah.
And have him with Ruben Diaz. That's who I would. But Everton are under... No, Spurs... Again, I think Spurs are obviously... Spurs are better. I've got a really good squad. They're better than what they showed last year.
Yeah.
But you don't know how it's going to go with them.
Yeah. Spurs are good, but they're not...
No, they're not,
good.
mate. Since
it's not
Kane's
like he's
gone,
to
they're
challenge
not
for
the
stuff.
same.
I know they just won the Europa League, which sort of goes against it, but they're not going for like... what's he going there for? They're not going to win the Champions League, and they're not going to win the Premier League.
But then you no one to go anywhere, buddy.
No, but if he goes to like a City, that's in his like sights really. If he goes to a Chelsea, it's more in his sights than being at Tottenham, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Gary Ward, Matt Gibson both say hello. Matt also says, afternoon, gents. Would like to start seeing deals agreed now ahead of July because there's too much to do than just sit and wait. I'm not bothered who it is as I trust Moyes, but we need 10, not 2, so I want as many as possible ready ahead of pre-season. I get things will be going on in silence, and I'm grateful for that to be in the main, but throw us a freaking bone. Well, we've just been talking to someone who's literally getting players in for his club right now.
Yep.
Be out on Inside the Game next week. Current manager. And he was explaining to us just the process behind getting one player.
Yeah, it's mental.
And it's the stuff that goes on and the length of time that takes is incredible. So Everton, I'm sure, are far down the line with a few of these. A few they wants, trying to do deals and getting it. So we've got to just trust that it's all going on. Yep. David Moyes isn't wet behind the ears as a manager. No. And he's known what he wanted since January, hasn't he? So we have to just trust that that's all taking place right now.
Yeah.
And I know some people will be cautious about it and going, well, this is Everton and we don't do it. And I get it. But if this is
Roma
new
made
Everton,
anyone?
do you know what I mean? What was that?
Has Roma made any new signings yet?
I don't know. Seen them linked with a few players, but I don't know if they've made any. I feel like they should give us Manu Kone, though.
Yeah.
I feel like
token of goodwill.
Yeah. I feel like that's how I'd do it.
Take Dobvik as well.
The which?
Take Dobvik. Hasn't really worked out.
Nah.
He was good.
How many goals did he get last season?
He got...
Did he get double figures?
Yeah. 12 goals, 1 assist.
John Jr. says, enjoy the sun, everyone. Joey Cullinan says, afternoon. Paul Gold says, I can't see us signing anyone before July the 1st, and I'm not bothered if we don't. Brian Garside says, no. David Earl says, hope we'll have player signings in place for the 1st of July. Simon Davies says, bit off topic, but I've seen this going around. See a lot of people saying Koeman's our worst manager since Moyes left for United. Who do you guys think? In my opinion, Martin has destroyed us. Finished 11th twice with Lukaku, Barkley, Stones, Baines, Jackson, Coleman in a period where Leicester won the title. And he also sold Naismith for 9 million and replaced him with Nias for 13.
I think it's harsh. It's very harsh, actually.
Koeman is the worst. Who would you say is the worst? It's Benitez, surely. And then for me, it's Dyche.
Yeah, they're the two.
Martinez, though.
Martinez's first season's probably the best, isn't it? And then you'd say Koeman's first season's the next best. And
well, it is on league placings.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
factually correct.
And we got into Europe with him, stuff like that. So, I know when he left, and because his performance was very good, but then Sam Allardyce came in and it was like, it weren't really too bad. We ended up getting back up, didn't we? And got to 8. So it's like, I feel like it's very harsh and he's the worst one. I feel like he signed good players. We played all right football while he was here. It was just that in the end it didn't really work out. But
he wasn't a good manager in terms of
that's what I was going to say. Behind the
what
scenes,
he did behind the scenes,
yeah.
and the rift with Barkley and other stuff, treated Tom Davis not very well, and a few other things, and just the way he was. I don't think he was great. But he wasn't that committed to Everton, which is a big issue. Martinez was poor. He was.
Yeah.
Had a really good first season. Wanted to rip it all up, what Moyes had instilled, and couldn't get it back. Fell out with Distan and different things. And when you look at the players he had, it's scandalous that Everton finished 11th twice. Yeah. But he was all right. Benitez was terrible. Yeah. Just was. He was
what about
terrible.
Silva?
Marco was all right. Marco wasn't bad. Second season, he got in a tailspin because he lost Garner. He didn't replace him. He lost Zuma.
There was like a lot of promises waiting to him that he never got.
The recruitment wasn't good enough. But Brands didn't want to sack him. Don't forget, Brands wanted to stick with him.
Yeah.
But for me, Benitez is the worst. Dyche for me.
Benitez, Dyche.
Because just the way he had the club going and his messaging was terrible.
Lampard, wasn't it?
Lampard struggled, done all right for the first bit, kept us up, but then was poor in the second season. Martinez, I think Silva was all right till he got in the tailspin. Koeman was okay till he got in the tailspin. Allardyce was...
He was treated...
I didn't like it, but he was probably treated the harshest out of them all because he done what was asked of him. Carlo done all right. He was Carlo, but he only done all right. We didn't really achieve anything, did we?
Yeah.
Although
you wanted Carlo, didn't you? When Koeman got all the money.
Yeah, that's it. Carlo.
That would have
been a game changer.
Wow.
If Carlo would have took over in 2016 with that squad and the money, Everton would have been a different place now.
Yeah. That'd be the perfect, because the players he brought in, Everton, we shouldn't have got Hammers anyway.
But imagine what we would have done
that's what I mean.
In that. So,
yeah.
Nick says, afternoon lads, hope you're having a good day. Just wondering if there's any news on who we could sign, or are all the signs pointing to Barry? Can't see Walter May joining us, but also isn't Moyes' business practice very behind the scenes? I wasn't aware of his style when he was here originally because I was too young. Yeah, he does like to do things quietly, Moyes.
But yeah, because going back to Carl Walker, didn't you say people would always come in and just rob his signings if they were out loud? So he's got PTSD from that. Even
at West Ham, he tried to keep everything quiet until it was practically done. And then obviously once it got out, you can't keep it quiet all the time because agents talk.
Yeah. Well, they want the best deal and they want money.
Talk, and they tell Fabrizio Romano, and he tells everyone. Yeah. So, Everton will be trying to do these, or certainly the negotiations, as quietly as possible. But that's where we are. Joey Cullinan says, what are your top 3 positions we should prioritise in order this season?
Right wing, midfielder, and striker. That's in order.
In order, so fair enough. I think striker, winger.
Striker over
down
winger?
midfield. The top 3 positions. Well, Dortmund's going to go, so we're left with Beto, that's it.
But who have you gone right wing?
No, but I'm just saying. No, well, absolutely. We're not.
Yeah.
It's not one, is it? That's just the order that I'd be trying to do with it.
Yeah.
It won't necessarily play out like that because depends who you can get. What the frees are, where does that fit? Can I go and get Kyle Walker and then I've got someone in?
Yeah.
Can I get, I don't know, Kaki, who we talked about yesterday for 8 million? Then he's in. It's an easy win. Get him in, he's in. Like, forget about them now. Let's go on to the next. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're trying to do. But it's a lot to do. Bill, I've seen a bit of Yuri Alberto. He's a good goal scorer, but I'm not sure he's quick enough for the Prem. And you'd always look. Someone who works in the game said to me, South American players who haven't been outside of South America by the time they're 23, there's a huge red flag with them. It doesn't mean you can't get one who bucks the trend, but in general, because the real talented ones, people are trying to get them in as early as they can. You often find that they've gone to sort of other places by the time they're 23, 24, and then they come. I don't think Yuri Alberto's been out of South America. Let's have a look. He's a good age. He's 24, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was 24 in March. Sorry, he went to Zenit, didn't he? He had a year in Zenit, or a period in Zenit. He got 4 in 11. But in general, it's South America, isn't it? He's had 1 cap in 23 with Brazil. But he knows where the lad knows where the net is. That's what I would say. But then have a look. We're all looking. Everyone's looking for Brazilian strikers, aren't they?
Yeah. Everyone just wants a Brazilian anyway, don't they?
So everyone wants a Brazilian. Well, unless you want something else. Hollywood's out of ale. Unless you want to go and get one of them, you always want a young Brazilian striker who's going to score goals. That's like the sort of romantic view of it. Why is no one going to got him?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? When he's that age and he's goal,
and everyone wants a striker.
He's got 1 in 3 over his whole career.
Yeah.
For Corinthians, where I think he is now, it's 1 in 2. So why is someone not gone and paid the money?
Yeah.
That's what you have to look at. If he's 18, you can go, well, people are unsure because of his young, but Watford when he got Richarlison, didn't he? When he was, 19, 20. Other ones have come out at that, so...
How old was Thingio? What's his name? Evan Nielsen. Did he leave?
He went to Portugal, didn't he? But,
yeah. Well, he went to Portugal when he was 20.
See, this is what... I mean, again, not my words. It was just that someone who works in the game said to me, there's generally a bit of a red flag if they're back in South America at that age. Like, sort of playing there. I don't know. Because remember Everton, the Brazilian winger a few seasons ago, and like everyone, and he looked really lively.
Yeah.
Everton will link with him all the time.
Just because his name's Everton.
And he went to Portugal, didn't he? To
it's like Everton Ribeiro or something.
Was it Sporting? Everton Ribeiro it was. Was it Sporting or Benfica? Wherever he went. And it never really happened for him. He was all right. And I think he went back to South America again. But he was like, a lot of people were like looking at him going, do we take that gamble with him?
Yeah.
Everton Ribeiro, his name.
That's the wrong one though, that one.
The winger, he must be about 28 now.
Yeah. Everton Suarez. Oh yeah, it's that one. He played for Benfica. Yeah, and then went back to Flamengo. Yeah. Everton Ribeiro's the midfielder one, Everton Suarez the winger one.
Oh, right. So it's like one of them, isn't it? David Murphy says, who on God's earth would sign for Spurs or United? Cunha.
I think Spurs looks a lot more attractive than Man United. Because I think Spurs have got a lot of good young players, and I think they started the season really well as well, didn't they, last season? I know obviously they finished in 17th, but doing the Europa League. But they've got a lot of good young players who I think are close to sort of reaching that like sort of next level, like a Brennan Johnson, Van der Ven and stuff, even the midfielders. So, and they've got, it's the owner, isn't it? That's their main issue. That's what the fans hate about them.
I think the thing is, though, with United, right, is that no matter what, Manchester United are still probably the second biggest club in the world.
Yeah.
So even though they were terrible last season, I still think Bruno staying is key for them.
It's massive, yeah.
It's absolutely key for them. I think Amarim will get them, will improve them if they just let him get on with it. It's whether they let him get on with it. You know what I mean? And you don't know if they'll let him get on with it because Radcliffe's a bit of a, seems an idiot. He's sort of made things go worse.
Yeah.
Where he's gone. If they let him get on with it and let it settle down, in a couple of years, he'll build them into a much better prospect. The problem is, footballers, and who knows, we might all do it, here Manchester United, and then you just think, it's United.
Yeah.
The fee, I get paid a big wedge. Like Cunha will be in every Brazilian, will be ranked even higher as a Brazilian footballer now because he plays for Manchester United.
But yeah, he said it was his dream, didn't he?
Right. So
like before he even left for them at Wolves, he said it was his dream.
So he's at Wolves, and he's a really good footballer. And we all go, he's really good, isn't he, Cunha? It's the way he travels with the ball, good, really lovely footballer. But he plays for Wolves, so he'll never get the respect. That's nothing against Wolves. That's just the way people say it. Now he's at United. Everything he does will be magnified by 10.
Yeah.
The same as if he went to Liverpool. If he went to Liverpool, every pass he makes over 5 yards, they would say he's the best passer of the ball they've ever seen, ever in the history of football, ever.
Have you seen how they switched up on Alexander-Arnold?
I seen one of me. I didn't pull him on it, but I seen one of me mates yesterday. On social media, like,
you can't even defend.
Thank God we got rid of him.
What
a near miss. You welcome to him, Madrid, and you're like, you all lost your minds when he said he was leaving.
Yeah,
you know. But that's it. That's football fans in a nutshell. We all do the same. But I just think
what happened to this live chat as well. By the way, they're going, I don't even know what they're talking about anymore.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why? What's happening?
I have no idea. They're talking about being. I don't know. I didn't read it for a bit and then I went back on it and yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. Emma's saying I love a Brazilian.
Then something about nice and toasty.
Don't we all? And someone said there's a Tinder.
There's a wedding.
Everton Sebelina, not Ribeiro.
Oh,
was that Everton?
It's another one.
No, he's the proper one, yeah. There's fish nets and every blooming hell. There's all sorts going on there. Okay. Right. Let's leave them to get on with the Tinder. What they're doing. Let's go back to where are we? Someone asked me about Kevin Zenon.
Kevin Zenon. That's your name.
He plays for Boca, doesn't he? Yeah, he's midfield player, isn't he? Looks decent. Good age, 23. You want some South Americans because they work their socks off, don't they?
Yeah.
They're at it all the time. And I think they lift everyone's level as well because they're so intense with it.
Yeah.
So why not? Depends how much he is. That's the thing. Benjamin Fairclough says, could Walter Mate be a 10-goal plus striker in his first season in the Prem if we get him? He looks unreal in the Bundesliga. Depends where Moyes plays him. I actually think if Everton got him, Moyes would probably play him off Beto rather than Walter Mate being the striker.
Yeah.
He looks, in that sort of Fellaini role. Could he score? Could he score in zone 14?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for.
Understand that. They'll have to wait till Wednesday properly.
Yeah. I don't know, Benjamin. Looks like a good play, can dribble. He's not lightning, is he? But travels well with the ball. So
he works hard though, doesn't he? That was one of the big things about him.
He's a good worker, yeah.
Like he's willing to do the running, which sort of suits him being like more of a second striker who can like drop into the midfield, like a Decore in a way.
But that's
probably
it.
More
with the
progressive than Decore.
Yeah. I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a good player, then why not? Why not? Get them in and see how they do. But it's going to be 30 odd million, isn't he? If we can get him. Other clubs, Chelsea.
I was going to say, if Chelsea bought them.
Well, they apparently looking at him, aren't they? So.
I like to win more like wingers now as well. Like, strikers.
They just buy it. What they're doing is actually quite damaging for the game. They're just trying to hoover up all the talent under 23.
Because they're trying to get
and just buying
Rafael Leao now, aren't they? That Bayonne Gittins they're still going after, and there was another striker that they were linked to.
Akitike as well.
Yeah.
Them in Liverpool looking at that. But yeah. Mendoza Gilgordil says, for the sake of my sanity, I'm avoid searching Everton news in Google. Not going to get baited into hanging my hat on whatever links the media stir up. With the new hires in place, Moyes at the helm, I'm quietly confident this summer and will wait announcements of confirmed incomings on Toffee TV. As long as we finally address the issue of pace in our squad and get fast players in, that's all that matters to me. It's a brilliant comment and coming to us for all of what's really happening. We love. But no, you're right, we need to address the pace thing in our squad. Absolutely we do. Juan says hello. Eddie says, can free agents not happen until July? No, you can agree it. So I've agreed to deal with James. He'll join on July the 1st. You can do all that. There's no issue, but he's never going to be. Everton announced the signing of James and it's on June the 20th. Unless, and this is, why would they do it? Unless a club terminated the contract. But that means Everton would then have to pay a week's wages early. Why would you? When it goes against your peer. You know what I mean? You just wouldn't do it. There's no sort of incentive, Eddie, to do it. That's why.
Yeah.
Paul Williams says, I think with PSR, a lot of teams play it safe till July 1st. Correct. Big teams can hoover up all the good players beforehand because they have the disposable income. I think whatever we had spare when we picked up Charlie with, maybe some loans before then for us, but the big signings after. Yeah. Agreed. No other winger talk at the moment, Kev. No.
It's weird, isn't it?
No. Jay Ratcliffe says every chance deals will be struck before July the 1st, but no chance they'll be officially announced until after this date. We can't blast the club for doing the wrong thing over the last 5 years, then do the same when they're doing it properly. Let's enjoy the sun and watch it unfurl in July. Life is good and so are the Blues. Well said, Jay. Well said. Let's Be Having You says, doubt it, we're definitely not going to buy anyone before then, and any frees won't be available till after. Down to PSR. Correct. Barry says, I do get the point about buying players and selling them on at a profit, etc. Onana. But what about the case of having a settled side for the longer term so players develop their partners? No, you're absolutely correct, Barry. That's got to be the goal. But the reality of the way the world is in terms of football, I just don't think it works like that at clubs like Everton. When Newcastle are talking about having to do it, when Aston Villa are having to, if they sell, they're talking to selling Watkins and they're talking to selling Morgan Rogers.
Selling the women's team as well.
Right? Is when they're doing it and they're building the team, and Onana is a target for Saudi, and they're saying we might get rid of him because Everton are looking at that, obviously, because they get a percentage of it. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, isn't it? So you'd have to try to buy 3 or 4 in the thought process that you might sell one of them in a couple of years for a profit, reinvest and go again. If you start doing well, it's easier to keep those players, obviously. If Liverpool wouldn't have ever really progressed with Klopp, like done all right, and Mo Salah posted the numbers that he did, Mo Salah would have gone. Mo Salah stayed at Liverpool because Liverpool done well and he drove them on to doing well. It's the same with I used to have this with me mates about Steven Gerrard. So they'd have a go because Rooney left. I was like, well, we had to sell Rooney.
Yeah.
But Rooney left because we didn't do anything. We weren't progressing.
Mm-hmm.
If Liverpool with Steven Gerrard would have been 7th, 8th, and that was the best he was doing, he'd have gone. He nearly went as it was.
Yeah.
He won the Champions League and he still nearly went. So you can keep these players if you progress well enough. But if you are a team that is struggling Doesn't matter how good your players are. You can't build anything with really good players because better teams want them even more now than ever. The minute he went to 9 subs, the minute he went to 5 subs, we were in. All the teams who weren't rich were in big trouble.
Yeah.
When it went to 7 subs, it got worse. When it went to 9, it got even worse. Now you can bring 5 on in a game. It's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
If you only had 3 subs,
it's a lot.
And you're going to buy a player from Everton, say you're Jarrad Branthwaite, and there was only 3 subs that you could have as a club, and Chelsea come in for you and they've got 20 players, you're looking going, how am I going to get on? I'm not even going to get on a bench here.
Yeah.
You know? And when only 3 get on, oh my God, but now, half a team gets on.
Mm.
She could make 35 appearances for Chelsea next season, Branthwaite, and 21 of them could be sub for like 8 minutes at the end of a game and 5 at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? So that's why you can't. You've got to do well. You've got to sort of build the team and do well with it in order to keep it the way Everton did under Moyes last time. We built a team and kept it, but the game has moved on. The sub thing and all that has made it more difficult. Mendo.
Any teams right now where they've done sort of a Moyes way, if they've kept everyone? Newcastle?
Yeah, but they've got money.
Yeah.
But definitely, because listen, if Newcastle would have had that one season, then had two seasons of 8, Isaac would be still playing for Newcastle.
Yeah,
they're
like
gone.
Jimenez and stuff.
They're gone. So if Villa wouldn't have gone the way that it popped,
yeah,
they wouldn't have kept their better players. They'd be gone.
Yeah,
because you've got to progress.
Keep going. Yeah.
You've got to progress, and the way to do it is to buy players who are up and coming and mould them, and then you start building and go, look where we are now. If Everton keep Jarrad Branthwaite again this season, and I think they will, if Everton keep him again, Everton have done really well with him because he was like the pressure on Everton to sell him last summer when they didn't have owners and they didn't have a pot to piss in was incredible. And so you have to give the club credit and Kevin Thelwell credit, and that they got deals done that meant we weren't under the same pressure to sell him.
Mm.
If he now signs a new deal with Everton, which is allegedly that's what the club are trying to do, Everton have done an incredible job. If he trots out in Moyes' team next season, him and Tarkowski or him and O'Brien, he's Everton's centre-back next season, Everton have done a really good job with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being highly rated. If they sell him next summer, fine, for a big deal, fine, but they've done well. If you can do that and progress, you've got, the next time Jarrad Branthwaite comes around, you've got a better chance of him staying and building around him.
Get more Jarrad Branthwaite in your team.
But that's it. And then you build the team
It's sort
around
of what you talk about a lot with Lukaku, isn't it? That he stayed, no improvements, and then he was going to stay, and he was like, "There's no improvements," and then he ends up going because there's not an ear for him really. They peaked.
He stayed.
What he's investing.
Martinez had him. Year 1, ton of goals. Everton signed him. He signed a 5-year deal with us. 14-15, we're 11th. He scores a lot of goals. There was speculation that summer. He stayed. 15-16, 11th. Another ton of goals. There was speculation that summer. He stayed. 16-17, he's going to sign a new contract.
And he scores loads.
Scores the most he's ever scored. But in January, and Everton had money, Everton didn't go and get 2 or 3. I know they were trying to get Rooney and that was agreed, but they still should have had a couple of others where they should have gone bang, because we were right in the run for the Champions League.
Yeah.
I've said this lots, we went to Anfield on April the 1st. If we'd have beat Liverpool, we were 1 point behind them in the race for the top 4. If Everton had gone and got those players in January, more creativity, what Ron was looking for, because we'd lost Balassi before Christmas, we'd have had a good chance, because there was games like Middlesbrough away in like the February where they were terrible and we just couldn't score. We drew 0-0. If you had like key players who can open that game up when you win it, those points come back. You know what I mean? We might well have got in the Champions League that season. Ron stays.
Yeah.
You'd have got them players. He'd have signed that contract in the February, like he was very close to sign.
Yeah.
You're in control, and it's those moments. But he stayed for 4 seasons. We had him for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
A top scorer, like a real class centre forward. We had him for 4 years. That's what you got to do. Mendoza, Gil-Gordell, thoughts on the role, Nick Cock? I'll be honest with you, don't know yet. It's technical director, which is almost, it's a bit like a sporting director, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. He's got less control over the first team. Get players into the academy, set the sort of structure for the football side of it throughout the club. What kind of players we're going to target, what age group, be that off the owners and stuff like that, and try to get that. I imagine it'll be stuff like that, mate. But try and get some clarification on it, but that's what I'm envisaging right now. Mark Cochran says we need to sign Barry just so Baz can have a shirt behind him, like James.
I know, I was saying this on one of the lives the other day.
We also need to sign a Pedro.
When we signed James, like, it'd be so much better for me if you had Rodriguez, because I was 19 when we signed him. So
it's almost like someone had got you for your birthday.
Yeah, it looks like I'm a little kid who's got my name on the back with my age, and I was like, I can't get that now.
No.
But Rodriguez 19 would look great, but you can't get a James shirt. Yeah.
Paddy says, sorry lads, catching up late. Hope you're enjoying the weather. Big congratulations on the airport partnership. I hope we sign someone before the first, but I feel like Moyes might just surprise us with it instead. Let's hope we do. I feel like we've got to just wait. Do you know what I mean? Just the way everything's set out, money-wise, it just does my head in that we even have to discuss it, because I hate it. I absolutely don't ever really want to speak about it again, because I want to just go, right, we're in that position. Are we all right? Let's go. Gray Lead says, Deitch is by far the manager who I reserve the most hate for since Moyes left in 13. He made me fall entirely out of love with football and Everton, but Benitez is a close second. Yeah, they're undoubtedly the worst too, for like making you just not want to watch footy. Gary Ward says Deitch was terrible. Jake Ablett says Kyle Walker covers centre-back, starts at right-back, so it does make sense if the deal was good for Everton. I want two wingers with pace and a beast of a centre-forward. Lots of centre-midfield options on the market too. Steve P says, I don't think Yuri Alberto could do it in the Prem. He's got no pace and doesn't have a trick. He's not a typical Brazilian player. He reminds me a bit of a Tosin, not going to lie. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, Steve, to be fair.
I thought Tosin was going to be so good.
Eddie says, I like Igor Jesus from Botafogo. Well, he's one.
He's always linked to.
He's one who is thought of as someone who probably can make the transition.
He's 24 though.
But that's, again, there's another one. I think if you're looking at the two, I imagine more people would go with Igor rather than Yuri. Eddie says he thinks Branthwaite will go to Barcelona.
Apparently Nottingham Forest have bidded for Igor Jesus.
Fair play. Kev Maloney says, what I'd like to see us do in the future is buy young gems in the rough. Loan them out for a year and play it in a year. I saw Nico Seago play and score the other night. There's something to... But that should be a plan as well. That's when you'll know Everton have moved on to a better financial footing, when we can buy some of these players for 4, 5, 6, 7 million and it's nothing. And they're not for the first team, they're buying them to develop, then see if we can make them.
It's the Brighton way, innit? But City, have you seen they've been signing loads of like academies, like Liverpool one they got the other day and a Man United one, and everyone's going to Man City's academy. But like when they turn 16, 17.
They become players as well then, don't they? Robert Jones says, cheers lads, how many signings you honestly think we'll make? I really can't see more than 4 or 5 coming on. I honestly think we'll bring in 8 or 9 players. Yeah. We've got 15 players. So 8 or 9 only puts that at 23.
Yeah. Pep said, didn't he, when he was talking about City, that he doesn't want a squad bigger than 24. He says that's like the ideal size.
So 8 or 9, mate. I get the reason why people are going. That'll be made up of frees, loans, and actual signings, like not 8 or 9 permanent signings. Thomas says, for years I liked United because it was sort of like the energy of my energy is my friend. I mean, I think he means the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But now I can honestly say I think I hate them as much as Liverpool. Sky and TalkSport never stop speaking about them, going on about the biggest club in the world. They're not. Maybe in the stock market. I've been to many places in the last 10 years and people don't care about them like they used to. The biggest club in the world does not win its doesn't not win a title in 13 years. They had 2 amazing spells in English football. They only attract money-hungry players. Sorry, can't over, just sick to death of them. Remember Spurs slapped them 6-1 a few years ago. And the game was 45 minutes about United. Yeah, that was embarrassing. Spurs belted them, and it was how bad United were and what needed fixing. You were like, just concentrate on how brilliant Tottenham were today, and they don't. Still, whether we like it or not, however it's measured, they are probably the second biggest club in the world, but who cares? It's irrelevant, really, isn't it? Fast Eddie says Rafa's the worst appointment we've made since Moyes left. Semi-Charm Life says Agent Rafa's the worst and Dyche the dinosaur a close second.
I just still can't believe they signed, they hired Rafa.
No.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
It was never
scandalous.
Yeah. Because he done alright with Newcastle, didn't he? And Newcastle fans loved him. I feel like that was maybe why, but it was just, it just never seemed a good idea and still doesn't now.
Kana says, I think Koeman's getting too much slack. He's far worse than Dyche. Divided the club, didn't play all that good footy, pushed out multiple players.
No.
Nah.
Koeman was way better than Dyche.
Yeah. We won 9 out of 10 home games, including 8 on the run.
How's it go in Europe?
I don't think Dyche won 8 home games in his career. He did.
Yeah, and we weren't great football, it was good football. Good football compared to Dyche, yeah.
Yeah, good players.
We had a good team. Yeah.
Sophie, we need to beat Leeds on the opening day. Their fans are mad. He's saying it'll be an easy game. They've got to puff the chest out, haven't they? I wouldn't really be bothered about it. Leeds will do well to get 30 points this season, no matter who they buy. They've got Daniel Farke for a start.
Yeah.
They'll do well to get it. But they've got good fans. Whether you like them or you don't like them, they're well supported. And they'll make it difficult at Ellen Road, because they always do. But when you step back from it, you have to look at it and go, it's really difficult to stay up in the Premier League. Like, really difficult. When you're coming out of the league, don't forget, Burnley moonwalked the Championship, like moonwalked it 2 years ago, and won 4 games of football all season. Ipswich were lauded last season. Southampton played really good footy and done well. Leicester, everyone was like, Leicester, unbelievable.
Leicester break the record or something.
Leicester, none of them got near 30 points. Burnley this season only lost the league on the last day by a goal. He lost it on goal difference, didn't he? You know, it's a tough league, and you can be mouthy and puff your chest out, and you should, because they can't be going, oh, we're going to go back down, because they're not exactly positive, is it? You got to believe and dream for a bit. But no matter how they get on against Everton on day one, won't define the season, but they're going to do well to stay up, as the other two are. We'll see. Right. Me and James are done. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Not tomorrow.
There is, what was that, mate?
Tomorrow
there is no live show. There's no live show. Busy. I've got other stuff on, Peds off. So
there will be videos.
But there'll be videos, so you'll be able to catch up. So enjoy the weather. It's roasting. If you're a Premier member, me and James will see you in a bit. But it's absolutely roasting out there, so enjoy the weather. Put your sun cream on. Relax. Everton will sign players. The summer will be busy. Probably just have to wait until July the 1st to do so. Take it easy. See you later.